used now. I called my data this morning just to get clarification on how it's used. So there's going to be a little bit of instruction here today as well. But yesterday I mentioned what we're going to do today is the same thing we did last week, is just sentence building. Now, Winona, I know that you are not, as advanced as maybe say John here. So if you're falling behind, I would recommend just focusing on the verb conjugation and trying to get that correct, and then worry about the rest of the sentence if you have time. Inekimani, obviously, we know that you're pretty far along with the language, so I would expect you to kind of try to go for accuracy on your sentences. And anybody else that's watching on Facebook, depending on your level of language, and hopefully you saw the module, the video and last week's video also, because that's going to kind of help you a little bit with the verb conjugation. But without further ado, I'm gonna just stop talking. I could just go on forever. I drank a lot of coffee this morning, so okay, share screen. And okay, so I actually just tagged these sentences on to that we went over before. So I'm just gonna go through this quick just to get through it. Okay, so we're gonna start with gi, the verb gi. But before, get out some paper, you guys. Get out a piece of paper and a pen. Also, if you have notes and books and everything else, feel free to use that as well. But before we begin on the sentences, I want to talk about gi. So I guess if we're talking about kitty, that's to return here, to like arrive at, return here. Gi is to actually arrive at that place. And it's going to be there, not here, but arrive there, to actually, physically arrive there. That's how gi is used. Okay. So I have at the top, arrive back or return back there. Okay, so if you have your notes, I'm trying to keep these definitions, as simple as possible, so that, and be exact in my definitions. So I'm going to leave it at that. But go ahead, you can start on the sentences. There's 3 of them there. The first sentence is, I returned back here this morning. I returned back here this morning. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, there. I returned back there this morning, or I arrived back there this morning. Once again, physically actually getting there to the destination. So once again, Inekimani, full sentence. And Winona, start with the verb. Try to go for accuracy on the verb, and then see if you can get the rest of the sentence. So obviously, verb final, the verb's going to go at the end, especially when we're talking past tense. That's going to be the final thing that you're going to talk about. Oh, and then sentence 2 is, when did you return back home? When did you return back home? Okay, so obviously, if I'm asking you that question, you're not at home right now. We're not at your house. You're probably at my house, and I'm asking you, when did you return back home? Past tense. Maybe you went on a trip or something. And then the final sentence is, my mother got back there at 2 o'clock. My mother got back there at 2 o'clock. Once again, if you guys have any questions, Feel free to ask them at any time since there's kind of a little downtime right now as the learners are working at these sentences. Facebook Live. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments. And I believe Nashke Wacheki is monitoring the live feed, so feel free to ask questions at any time.
Wiguzaning said she's watching with us, so
Okay.
hey Wiguzaning, we miss you.
Thank you, Wiguzaning.
AP.
Okay, Yinekimani, you still working on it?
I think I have something.
You think you have all, I mean, are you done with all of them?
I think so.
Okay, all right. Winona, how are you doing?
I'm not. I'm sorry, I got a call that I had to take and I got distracted and I'm just I didn't get to go through. So if I could just sit through this next one.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. We'll just go ahead and go through it. Okay. So the first sentence is, I returned back there this morning. All right, Yinekimani, if you don't mind letting us know what you wrote.
I have Haini de Eja Hagi.
Okay, good. Exactly correct. Haini de Eja Hagi. Okay, so at this point, like we said yesterday, that Eja might be a little redundant, but I'm putting it on there anyways just because, it's there and you might not really need that, but for this particular verb, I would probably use that, I guess. So Yinekimani number 2, even though they're not numbered, but when did you return back home? And also, well, yeah, just go ahead.
I have Jajanane Hochieja Ragi.
Okay. Okay. That's perfectly fine. I just put Chieja. But Jajanane Hochieja or Chieja Ragi. Good. Excellent. And then for the final one, my mother got back there at 2 o'clock.
I have Gichui Nupregi Hiunihara Ejagi.
Perfect.
Wow, way to go.
Hiunihara Ejagi. Good job. Excellent.
Yeah, Pinano, that was awesome.
Yeah, good. Just, as we, learned the other week talking with the elders, another way that you could say that is Hiunihara Gichiwi Numpareki Ejagi. You could flip that around. But typically when we teach it, we like to teach, the time first. But, Ho-Chunk is pretty flexible in a lot of ways. You don't have to have it exactly just so all the time. You might forget something and just throw it in at the end of the sentence too, as an afterthought. So it doesn't exactly have to always be just so, but that's just the way we teach it, just to try to have, students compartmentalize, how to build a basic sentence. All right. So next one is kere, to head back. Okay. This doesn't necessarily mean, to arrive at your destination back there. It just means, heading in that direction back to where you came from. So we have 3 sentences. These should be a little easier, I think. But I did bring back, some of the same vocabulary just because I don't want you to focus on a lot of words that you might not remember and be paging through notes and whatever, just to try to, get the sentence right. So I brought back, the same concepts just to make it a little easier. And I want you guys to focus more on accuracy on the verb, being correct on that. So once again, Winona, feel free to attempt the full sentences if you want. But like I said before, I would start with the verb, verb conjugation, and then working from there. We're going to try to kind of go by Ineki Mani's timeline here, just because he's working on full sentences. I don't know if we have anybody else that joined us. It doesn't appear so. All right, for sentences, I'm not going over the sentences yet. I'm just reading them for anybody listening, I guess. I forgot to do that. First sentence is, I headed back this morning. When did you head back? I'm using head back is, the definition for this today, just because it makes a little more sense to me. And then my mother is going to head back at 2. So return there, head back there.
Inaki Mani, do you got him?
Think so.
Yeah.
Okay. Winona, how you doing?
Sorry. I was just trying to focus on the sentence structure, like you said. I'm not too confident, but
Okay.
or I headed back this morning. I have Ayini Aja Ha Kerejena.
Okay. Okay. And Ineki Mani, what'd you get?
I have Haini de e hakere.
Okay. Correct. Okay. So Winona, remember that when we're talking past tense, we don't require a positional. And because this verb also ends in a vowel, you just leave it at that for past tense. Okay. So
Okay.
all right.
You still did good though. You did awesome.
Yeah, that was still good. And then de'e is this. So hani de'e, this morning. Hakere. All right. So once again, hani de'e hakere. Ineki Mani, what'd you get for the second one? When did you head back?
I have Jajana ne da kere.
Okay. Winona, did you get something similar to that? Jajane, you probably don't. I don't know if we.
Jajanagi ra kerejenan.
Okay. Once again, just knock off the positional. And then when you're saying jajanagi, the gi is future tense. So when we're using past tense with this word, jajanane, jajanane. So the correct response is jajanane rakere. But good job, either way. It shows that you're learning, and we're clearing up some of the mistakes that you're making. So I mean, you're.
Oh, what did I
doing
say?
good.
When am I going back? Is that what I said?
Yeah, I think you asked. I think you said jajanagi, which is future tense. So when are you going back? Kind of. You were close to saying, I guess.
Okay.
Okay. So this next sentence is going to be future tense. Okay, so it's going to be a little different. I threw that one in there just because we don't get a lot of future tense practice in these sentences that we're going over. But I would want to bring that back just to see if you guys remember how to make it future tense. So inekimani, my mother is going to head back at 2.
Gichiwi nuki iuni hara kerekjene.
Okay. Winona, you probably, I don't know if you remember that, but jene at the end is going to be a future tense. So once again,
I had it, and then I crossed it off.
Oh, okay. All right. Second guess yourself. Gichiwi nuki hiunihara kerekshene or kerekjene, either or. I like to say kshene, but that's just the way I learned it.
I like using kshene.
Yeah, I'm kind of a little bit more lazy in speaking, so it's just easier for me to say kshene instead of making the hard J sound. So it just works better for me, I guess. So gichiwi nuki hiunihara kerekshene. Okay, excellent job, both of you. Inekimani, that was impressive. Winona, you're picking it up pretty well. Just a few things here, and like I said the other week, ending the sentence is going to be a pretty difficult challenge for any language learner. It takes a lot of practice, especially in speaking. That's one of the things that always caught me up when speaking with the elder. A lot of times I'd get so far in the sentence and I wouldn't know how to finish that sentence. And I'd get hung up and then I'd need some help on how to finish it. So I'm gonna stop the share. Are you guys okay with that, or did you guys write down the sentences, Winona? I saw you working diligently at it, so good job, you guys. Excellent. You guys are doing great. Winona, before you head out, I know you're leaving here soon. Do you have any questions on anything at this time?
I think yesterday you guys mentioned some different classes or something that you're putting together, or different ways.
Yeah, we're working on. I think you're talking about the review sessions. We're working on trying to get some of those, planned out. So we'll let you guys know when we get that going. So we're also going to try to tailor it to your level. So we might have little breakout sessions with inekimani, or you guys are at different levels, so somebody would work with one or the other. Is what we're working on, and we'll let you guys know. Okay. Any questions, Inekimani? No?
I think I'm
Okay.
good.
Okay. Instructors, do you guys have any comments or anything to add?
You guys are awesome today, and you're doing awesome, Winona. So keep going, and
Keep up the good work.
I know the endings are kind of hard, but yeah, you'll get there. You got it.
Yeah.
You're right there.
For sure.
Thank you. It's just taking the time to sit down and focus on it. So I appreciate the time you guys are doing every week, twice a week, to do this. It really helps a lot.
Okay.
Done.
I believe next week we're doing places in town, correct? Is that what we were saying? Like, yeah, we're stores, banks, schools, things like that. So we'll be doing that just because, obviously we're going over traveling verbs, and we're going to go over that so we can use those, in context. So be looking forward to that. And I believe that's it. So good job today. And we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah. All right, guys. Any check, Joey?
Chuck, Joey.
Ani Chuck Chuck.
Uy.